The honourable member for Cape Breton, Dartmouth South.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question is for the Minister of Business. In a week, recreational cannabis will be legal in Nova Scotia. Cannabis production is an industry that is growing exponentially and will grow more. Unfortunately, compared to other provinces, we're sorely behind on developing local cannabis production. This year, the NSLC will be importing over 3 million grams of cannabis. That is a multi-million-dollar missed opportunity for rural Nova Scotia, which has the capacity and agricultural expertise to fill this gap. Our government has recognized the value of focused supports to develop local wine and beer, but nothing for local cannabis production. My question is, what is the minister doing to ensure that the NSLC's cannabis procurement shifts quickly to supporting local jobs and the rural economy? Surprise, we care about the economy.
The Honourable Minister of Justice.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I thank my colleague for the question. Nova Scotia Liquor Corporation has been public on this very issue, Mr. Speaker. The production of recreational cannabis and the licensing of those producers is the responsibility of the federal government. We know, Mr. Speaker, that there are a number of Nova Scotia business entities who are part of that process. As we speak, Mr. Speaker, 3 Nova Scotia companies have been approved licensed for production. They continue to work in that process with Health Canada to secure their retail license, Mr. Speaker. But the remainder of those Nova Scotia businesses continue to compete with Health Canada to ensure that Nova Scotia product is available into the future.
The honourable member for Dartmouth South.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. With respect, my question was about provincial incentives, not federal licensing. Mr. Speaker, we know that in 2019, recreational edible cannabis products will also become legal. We know that in Canada, 6 out of 10 cannabis consumers will likely choose edibles. This is another inevitable development that will either be an economic opportunity for Nova Scotians or another imported expense. Mr. Speaker, my question to the minister is, what is he doing to make sure Nova Scotian entrepreneurs have the information and support they need to be ready for the recreational edible cannabis market?
The Honourable Minister of Justice.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And this is a discussion that has been ongoing, Mr. Speaker, with the producers that have stepped up to the plate, Mr. Speaker, to drive the business and the economy of Nova Scotia in this new field. But with respect, Mr. Speaker, Nova Scotians are not limited to the retail sale within the province of Nova Scotia. These exporters, these producers, Mr. Speaker, are looking beyond Nova Scotia borders. They're looking to export Nova Scotia product quite literally around the world, Mr. Speaker. So Nova Scotia, Mr. Speaker, as this process continues to unfold, we will see Nova Scotia producers who are licensed to sell retail cannabis, and it will not only be available within Nova Scotia, Mr. Speaker, to the Nova Scotia Liquor Corporation, it will be available outside of the province and the country.